Let's go to work. Where the hell's my pen, man? Oh, here we go. Guys, Facebook. Guys, namaste. God bless. How are all of you? Let me turn up the volume, man. Happy Monday to all of you. Hopefully you're all well. And, God, I'm hearing an echo. It's amazing what technology does. But it's National Star Trek Day. Big friggin' deal. I've never been a fan. I was never a fan of the Trekkies. Not the Star Wars. And no offense to them. I mean, to each his own. Whatever, floats your boat. I have no issue with that at all. But it's funny how back then it was science fiction. But now it's just fiction because the science has proven itself. Because now a lot of the items that they actually use in that series are actually, I've got a little one out of us. So it's amazing how the future is predicted from the past in so many ways. And from that, it's funny how when Star Trek was out, everybody was into it. They were doing their thing. And what the problem with that is they actually believed that stuff. And they said, wait, this has got to happen in our life. And eventually it all did. Same thing with quantum science. Same thing with all these so-called science fiction that they had out back then. They're saying, no, the mind doesn't control us. We're just here. And we have to obey to a God that's outside of us. How history has proven that so wrong in so many ways. It started with Freud. Freud had this theory that all our issues were from our childhood and this and that, and we have to keep going back there and reliving them. Along came Alfred Adler. Stephen Adler. I'm thinking of Guns N' Roses. I was reading an article today about that. Alfred Adler came along. He said, wait, those two actually collaborated until Adler went on his own merry way. He focused on individual psychology, whereas Freud it came into the norm as today's psychology. So there's actually fathers of psychology. You have one way, the Freud way, which is implemented now, and you have Adler, who is coming into form now in so many ways. And this happened back in 1952, I think it was, because 1911 was Freud and Adler's time. But then a little guy was born in 1898 in Ohio, small town Ohio over there. His name was Norman. Very, humble beginnings, that kind of thing. And this guy went and ended up going to, so look at this bio on this guy. Masters of Theology, Doctor in Divinity. He was a Methodist clergyman for the longest time, then became a pastor of one of the most prominent churches in New York City. Actually, I think it's on Fifth Avenue or Lexington Avenue. All the big stars go there, went there until he retired back in the 80s. But we're talking about Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. And leaving my house today, you get that smell in the air of fall coming in. This was the second book that I read from Man's Search for Meaning with Viktor Frankl. It started it all 20 years ago. This was the second book that I read cover to cover, literally sat there and read. I was on assignment up in, upstate New York with Canada across the river. And I had a view of Canada where I was sitting. And I read this whole book and I didn't understand what the hell he was talking about. Because back then, 20 years ago, all of this that you see now with quantum science, all that wasn't in its infancy. The internet wasn't huge yet. And to me, I read this, eyes open, yes, indeed, but not really understanding it until, I would say, a decade later, when all of this kind of came out. And I'm going to feature a bunch of those things, a bunch of those captions from that book, because indeed, it is truly life-saving, and it's not science fiction anymore. It's not. It's just science. It's proven science that thoughts do indeed become things. And when you add faith to it, or a religious aspect of it, you basically double the power. You're not a Bible thumper. You just understand what the Bible was. It was an instruction manual. And this is exactly what he did, but I didn't get it. I didn't get it back then, because here he's saying to be that, and it's going to come to you. Actually, one of the first quotes out of his book, and I'll get the second one for the quote box tonight. According to your faith, be it unto you. We were taught faith was in God. No, faith in us. Because the faith that we have in us is what we bring to us. And out of the quote box tonight, to get back to my question, self-knowledge is the beginning of self correction. This is this is back in 1952, and it's sad because that book only sold 5 million copies. Only, I mean, for a book that old, it sold 2.5 million in the first 4 years. But then it got lambasted by the Freud people. It got lambasted. I mean, when I read the bio on that, I was like, oh my God, look what this guy went through. Just by putting out there, after learning everything about Scripture and incorporating the sciences with it, he got lambasted. But still, to this day, it's one of the most popular and most recognized books other than the so-called Bible, per se. But I love his theory on it because, he brings it to the next level as far as believing in self. Because he's saying, look, there's something going on within us. We know that there's a God within us. We know that there's things within us that are directing our path. Here's a way to do it. And it helped me in so many ways. It helped me cure ailments in so many ways, whether you believe it or not. It's completely and utterly up to you. According to your faith, be unto you, from Matthew 17:20. That was the first caption on the second page of his book. He also had a book out before that, back in 1948. Repetition is the master of studies was a quote out of that book, from A Guide to Confident Living. And that was before he was Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. He was just Norman Vincent Peale. Think about this. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Master's in Theology, Doctor of Divinity, Methodist pastor. He became the head pastor of the Marble Conglomerate Church. And he wrote over 40 books. I mean, this guy's amazing. And the first line from the first chapter of his book, it says, formulate and stamp indelibly on your mind a mental picture of yourself succeeding. This is what we've been talking about forever. It's you placing a mental snapshot of that self that you've always wanted to be and looking at it every day. It may be kind of hazy now, kind of fuzzy, but as when you start doing things in repetition, they start getting clearer and clearer. Hence, you get better and better at it. He goes, hold that picture tenaciously. What do I say here on America's Mentor? You put 100% of yourself into your goal, whatever it might be, the new self, the being, the doing, the having, whatever it might be. You put yourself in there 100%. You can't help but to manifest that. And you're hearing the words from a guy who literally studied Scripture from ear to ear. Me, I perused it in so many ways because it was so huge in me. This guy actually mastered it, and he showed amazing points. He goes, do not build up obstacles in your imagination. He's warning us that Scripture has told us for thousands of years, because the minute you think an obstacle is there, the mind's going to say, okay, well, let's build more. He's teaching us basic quantum science without even knowing it back then, before it even became the norm. This is what I love about it. And the fact of the matter is that they gave it a name and it's been around forever. It really answers the question. It's not hard work that drains the energy, but emotional upheaval. If this happened to me in so many occasions in my life, being around people, they literally suck the life out of you. You love them to death, but if you're around situations like that, you wonder why you're tired, because you're getting the energy sucked right out of you, man. It's a proven science now that our energy radiates out, I think, 6 feet? I don't even know. I can get an exact, and I definitely want to do a show on that, because energy indeed does radiate out from us and absorbed by others from us. It goes brain to brain. It's actually amazing. And think of these words that he said in chapter number 2. Never think of yourself as failing. Never think of yourself as failing. Never doubt the reality of the mental image. I mean, I featured a show here. What was that girl's name? That lady's name? Helen Haxel. Haxel. I apologize. She won thousands of sweepstakes and all kinds of prizes, homes, cars, gifts. She used this technique, and she developed the SPEC: select, project, expect, collect. I featured that here, and this is what started it for her, was reading The Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. She developed a program from that, went internationally, and told people how to win all these or how to succeed in life, and how she won all these prizes just by focusing on what Dr. Vincent Peale was saying, incorporating faith and the sciences together. There you go. Creation is finished, per se. I'll read it again. Never think of yourself as a failure. Never doubt the reality of the mental image. So if you're seeing something that you want and you start doubting it, you're basically dissolving it. It's like putting, remember the old negatives at Photomat? You get the negative, and if it got wet, it got spoiled. That's basically what you're doing. You guys really need to think about that, because if you truly want something, give it 100%. Give it 1,000%. And man, you're going to have it. And he goes on to say, this is most dangerous, for the mind always tries to complete what it pictures. He's teaching us decades ago that the mind, how the mind works. And it's been diluted by so many different forms and facts throughout today. It drives me freaking crazy. I can't stand it. Our happiness depends on the habit of the mind we cultivate, hence the mental garden. And I say that a lot here at America's Mentor, the mental garden. We plant every day whatever we want to go in there. And we use that to our advantage and or disadvantage. Even today. It's late. You could tell it's late now. It was very busy today. I could have lost my shit all day long. But I said, no, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. And this is what you guys got to keep telling yourself. You got to be your own best coach, man. You got to keep telling yourself every day, I'm going to get through this. It's going to be all right. I am going to get through this. You start adding I am in that powerful sentence. You start believing in that I am. You're going to create the most amazing things. When you expect the best, listen, when you expect the best, you release a magnetic force, which by the law of attraction tends to bring the best to you. This is back in 1952. What's that, 75 years ago now, 70, in that range. He was already edifying us in the law of attraction before it became the quote-unquote secret out there. But yet this guy only sold 5 million copies of his book, and the secret did, 30? So it's been around forever. It really has. But when you start incorporating scripture and science together, it gets people crazy and scared. Oh, I'm telling you, man. It's awesome. You start listening to the words that these deceased notables were telling us many moons ago, before it became commercialized. Now it's gonna blow you away. I'm going to feature his book this week on America's Mentor in different forms and facets, not to bring it, not to prolong it too long with each segment, because I know you guys are busy, but really think about it. According to your faith, be it unto you. What do you have faith in? Do you have faith in yourself? These are the questions you have to ask yourself. These are not abstract words. And what Dr. Vincent Peale did with the book was bring out different techniques. And he mentioned a few symptoms that I had that I don't have anymore just by using the simple techniques in his book. So it's stuff like this. If you guys are truly into transforming, it all starts within. Everything, every facet of you, the creation starts within. Your outside world is not going to get fixed, so you fix the inside world. So we've been taught backwards, as I mentioned many times here in America's Mentor, that there's something out there, or the reality out there is going to help us. No, it's inside us that creates the next step. And living in that present moment and following through on that present moment every single day. And I'll make it quick for you tonight. I'm going to read the last caption of the writing that I had tonight. And Dr. Vincent Peale said, to become a happy person, have a clean soul, eyes that see romance in commonplace, a child's heart, and spiritual simplicity. I'm seeing that every day now. I'm seeing that every day on Facebook. I'm seeing that every day in people's posts. They're really letting go of the outside world and encumbering and embracing and embodying the person they've always wanted to be, and let the universe kind of bring it to them. I mean, that's what I've done for the longest time, especially with this show. I just keep doing it, having fun doing it, and watching it grow slowly, little by little, each day, not pushing the process, not rushing it. Becoming a happy person, I made that a point in my life. Having a clean soul, releasing what has happened to me, giving it blessings, that's great. Thanks for the lesson, I'm good. You start answering those kind of questions, you're going to get some amazing answers. Eyes that see romance in commonplace. When you start looking at everything as the loving life, this is what I practice every day, and really, it really feels good. Hopefully it helps you guys. When you start looking at life with that kind of romance, on everything that you see, all the good, all the beauty in life, it's going to calm you down, man. It's going to relax the soul. Have a child's heart. You start talking about your age, you're going to start being that age. We are not our age. We are our energy. And I got past that a long time ago. I didn't get scared. It takes away the fear of growing older when you start living with the child's heart kind of mindset, not jumping off two-story roofs like I used to, but believing that anything is possible. That's what they're talking about. A child's mindset. I mean, think about it. I mean, children, absolutely beautiful. I mean, they would imagine ghosts and goblins and princes and build forts and all these things. You have that kind of mindset because anything is possible in life. And if you open the door to your mind to allow it, you are going to have it. And he finished with saying, and spiritual simplicity, not to overwhelm yourself, but to just be yourself in that moment and understanding who you are as a person, and keep doing that every day. This is not a one-shot deal, even though I kind of kept this show short tonight because of the time-wise, but really think about it for yourself. To become a happy person, have a clean soul, eyes that see romance and commonplace, a child's heart, and spiritual simplicity. Easiest way to live life, man. Easiest way, stress-free life. Your doctor's going to be calling you instead of you calling your doctor, because they're going to realize, wait, he's not a patient anymore. He's too well for this. That's the whole point. The better you feel on the inside, the better the body's going to react to the outside, guys. So enjoy your Monday, guys. America's Mentor _radio on Instagram. # America's Mentor on YouTube. Much love for the follows on there. Give me 1 second here. I want to say this one more time, because to me, it really, this is so prevalent. This is from the very beginning, and I want you guys to really listen. Formulate, this is what Dr. Vince Appeal said, formulate and stamp indelibly on your mind a mental picture of yourself succeeding. What did Neville Goddard say? Live in the end. I mean, what these guys were telling us was the present moment now. Create that end moment now. And feel that moment now. And create a picture of that moment now. Because what you're doing is you're starting the process. You're not thinking in the future because you're going to tell your mind that you're chasing something. You're thinking right now. Formulate and stamp indelibly on your mind a mental picture of you succeeding. And look at that all the time, as much as you can. That's what I do every day with all my goals and dreams and whatever I'm pushing for. I'm constantly taking that mental snapshot and implanting it in my subconscious to alleviate what has happened to me, to make what I want happen for me. So happy Monday to you guys. I hope this helps. Much love to you guys. I will talk to you guys on the backside. I'm going to feature Dr. Peel all week this week. That book will change your life. And I'm going to keep it short and simple. But if you want to go out and buy it on Amazon or get the audio book and listen to it while you walk, work, exercise, whatever it might be, you will be changed. Enjoy your Monday, guys. I'll see you guys soon, man.